Okay, man. This is just freaking me out. And what we are looking at is Gabor Szabo, whom I have never heard of, but he sounds very like funkadelic and 70s like, and looks 70s like, a little bit like Carl Sagan. And a cross between that dude from the band Player who played the bass, who was in on a soap opera, but that's neither here nor there. That's going to be important for later. But you gotta see this because I'm tripping out, man. I'm tripping out! Okay, so this is gonna be a hastily done, crappily non-steady cam done video. But anyway, you know the deal. So, this is like really freaking me out. This is like a story in Newsweek. And I don't even know what caused me to think about this the other night, but I was thinking about presidential cats. So I looked it up and I didn't see this article right away. I think I typed in something like last cat in the presidential White House. And what I found was really, really shocking, to me anyway. So, this article says these are the presidents who had cats in the White House. So, we all remember the main perpetrator, the main motherfucker, Socks the cat. I mean, if you don't remember Socks the cat, then you are just not from this reality. But Socks the cat was in the White House. And obviously he's holding a press conference, which I never remember. So that must be something from an alternate reality. And here we can see, I think I remember this picture. This was hilarious. Socks wanting to hold another press conference. Well, actually, no, Socks wanting to give, like, a private State of the Union address or some shit. Anyway, Socks the cat, pet for President Bill Clinton. So, he was always the most famous. But in the 20th century, I don't know why all White House cats, like, wouldn't be famous. Like, why wouldn't we just know the president's cats? It's a human thing. So anyway, this is how the article starts. There is a history of presidential pets in the White House, most notably canine companions, but there have also been a few felines that have called 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue home. Though not in over 10 years. Not been, I think that's a mistype, not been since George W. Bush. Maybe a cat typed it. Not been since George W. Bush and his pet India. I think they meant to say not since George W. Bush with his pet India has there been a cat in the White House. But Bush Jr. was not the first president to have a cat. Read on to find out who were America's cat-loving presidents. So yeah, so I think I looked it up like I think I was looking up White House cat because they keep saying the Bidens are going to get one, and then it's all like this mysterious national security bullshit that we can't know who their cat is. So I looked up, like, who was the last White House cat, and it said India Willie Bush in the White House, July 13th, 1990 to January 4th, 2009. So that cat lived a good long, wow, I think that cat was like 19 years old. It lived all through 9/11 and the Backstreet Boys and everything. Oh my God, that poor cat must be traumatized. That was like a horrible period to be alive. But anyway, India Willie Bush. And I'm sorry if the screen is doing some hippy-dippy thing where it trips out your eyes and you feel like you're getting cataracts. But anyway, that was just crazy to me. That like rended and rocked my world because never once did I hear of this cat. And it's a human interest story. Of course we would want to hear about this. And I would just think that with just media and like TV media and newspaper media and ubiquitous media, really, unless it's lying media. I mean, maybe it was lying to us about a White House cat, but why the hell would they do that? Unless it was one of those cats that like the Russians had. Supposedly there was a brief period of time where in Russia, to spy on people, the KGB would send kitty cats into people's homes and put a recording device in the collar around their neck. That was like something I heard on NPR, and it was part of this weird game show called Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. But anyway, that's a whole nother speculation for another time. But anyway, I could not get over this cat. I'm not sure of the gender because it says India and then Willie. But you know what? If it's bi gender, then that's cool with me. Actually, aren't they all once they're neutered? Anyway, so forget you, Socks. You are not the last White House cat. That was the last White House cat, India. So then the article like goes through other presidents that had cats, Abraham Lincoln, and I'll put the link below because we don't have to go through every single president because obviously we weren't alive. Well, most of us weren't alive unless you got some ghosts watching or disembodied spirits. But I'm just gonna go through people like from my lifetime when we had copious amounts of electronic media to tell us who had cats. Okay, so I wasn't alive during the Kennedy administration, but supposedly he had a cat. Or, I mean, he didn't really have a cat. It was his daughter Caroline's. And obviously that's Caroline. That's not his daughter right there. And neither one of them is his daughter. But so JFK had a cat, but I think because he was allergic, so the cat slept in another area, and it was not much talked about because they didn't want, because the president had to look superhuman, like he didn't have a cat. Calvin Coolidge, of course, had one, but that's not Calvin Coolidge, unless we're really rocking a parallel reality. But we'll get to these two in a second. And I never knew they had cats either. Just, it was so hush-hush. Nobody ever talked about it. But, you know, hey, right? They don't call things cat-like for nothing. Quiet and cat-like. Like, Calvin Coolidge actually was a really quiet president. And I remember once we were talking about it around the dinner table when I was still living with my parents. And then one of my cats was being really quiet, waiting for my mom to throw down some food. And my dad was like, oh, he's being like Calvin Coolidge. Quiet Cal. All right, so John F. Kennedy. What it says about JFK, and I don't know why they don't have the pictures next to the actual captions and article pieces. Geez, it makes it all confusing, especially if you don't know your presidents or your American history. But anyway, Tom Kitten, the Kennedy's cat, was first introduced to the media in 1961. Well, I wasn't introduced to my media, but then I wasn't even a speck in some idiot's eye back then. Okay, the cat actually belonged to Kennedy's daughter Caroline and became the president, and because of the president's allergies to it, the cat spent most of its time living with White House staffer Mary Gallagher, though Caroline was able to visit and play with her furry friend when she pleased. So I'm assuming the house was not too far away. Oh, so cute. That's the Ford's daughter. And see, like, I was pretty young when Gerald Ford was in office. Mostly I just knew of him as the bald guy. He was like the bald president, and then Ayatollah Payatollah, the song that everybody was making fun of. So Gerald Ford's cast Gerald Ford Shan actually belonged to his daughter Susan and was Siamese, following in the footsteps of President Hayes. Oh yeah, right, because Rutherford B. Hayes had a Siamese cat. And that's something, if we had done our due diligence and read through the article, we would know, but I was lazy and I'm skipping over things. The cat was said to have been an Easter present for Susan before Hayes was elected president, in a parallel reality wherein we've got the Easter Siamese cat instead of just the Easter bunny. Okay, then, Jimmy Carter. Oh my God, this one's my favorite. And you'll see why I'm playing the 70s funkadelic music in a minute. Because you got to know it's illustrative of what the hell's going on. And they don't, and of course that's not Jimmy Carter, but what the hell. Socks, you're just taking up all, you're just taking up all the energy. You're just taking up everybody's life. Okay, the Carters had another White House Siamese cat with her pet, Misty Malarkey, Yin Yang. Oh my God. How would we not know that? Now, Jimmy Carter is like the first president I really, really remember. Actually, I remember him debating Gerald Ford. And I remember being up kind of later at night for that debate because I was vomiting a lot. And that's why, so I was just sitting on my dad's lap, half asleep, and the set was like this Cookie Monster blue. I don't know if that signifies anything. I don't know if, like, that was going to be a Cookie Monster presidency to come, but regardless. But, you know, they didn't tell us about their cat, so they had to give us a signal that they had a furry creature in the house, although it wasn't blue, through the Cookie Monster set. All right, the Carters had another White House Siamese cat. Another White House Siamese cat, after Rutherford B. Hayes, with their pet Misty Malarkey Yin Yang. Oh, they copied the Fords, actually. With a name that creative, it's no surprise that it also had a song named after it. Gabor Szabo created an instrumental track called Misty Malarkey Yin Yang. The cat belonged to Carter's daughter Amy. And it would be over a decade until the next cat moved into the White House. And they're probably referring to the Clintons, but who the hell knows, because they're not consistent in their reporting about cats, apparently. Like, they just don't care. Like, they have just never cared to tell us about these cats. Oh my God. Okay, so obviously we know about Bill Clinton. Reagan and his wife Nancy had 2 cats, Cleo and Sarah. That's so weird. The first time I read this, I could have sworn it was Cleo and Zara. Cleo and Sarah, who lived on their ranch in Santa Barbara, California. Though they don't seem to have ever made the move to the big house in Pennsylvania Avenue, the presidential felines nonetheless... Oh, they are presidential felines nonetheless. Okay, really, seriously, I've not been drinking tonight. Okay, even though my non-steady cam would belie that claim. Okay, so Bill Clinton, and I hate that. Look, it makes it look like he's Bill Clinton. What the fuck? Okay, Socks, the Clinton's family cat, is one of the most famous presidential cats in history. He even had his own Wikipedia page. Well, no shit. He's the only one we know about. The Clintons adopted the cat at home in Arkansas, before they moved to the White House. Though he was a crowd favorite, there was someone who did not like Socks. The Clintons' dog, Buddy. Now here we've got, this is probably the most favorite picture I've ever seen of George W. Bush. Political leanings notwithstanding, it's my favorite picture. And hey, you know, he kind of deserves what that cat's doing to him. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, this Bush family's this Bush family's black cat, India, was also nicknamed Willie, and was adopted by George W. Bush when his daughters were young girls. She lived with the family for almost 2 decades and died just weeks before the Obamas moved in. Oh, that's like so sad. That's sweet though. And then the cat biting his arm off. This is like George Bush teases his cat Ernie at the governor's mansion in Austin, Texas, while in the White House. The Bush's cat India gained national fame. So anyway, this is the most interesting article about presidential cats. Tell me if you guys remember anybody but Socks, because honestly, I don't. And if not, like, this is a time for cats to, like, do their own civil rights march about getting some play in the center stage of the media. It's like, you know there's a reason they ain't talking about cats. You know the thing. Cats are ultra spiritual, man. Well, except when they're being dorky like that. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Alright, yo. Peace out. Oh my God. So here we've got an idea. When Jeff Bezos goes up to outer space or whatever the hell he's doing, everybody wear ape costumes on his return.